Right, this is day 3, I think, with the E-tron now. I'm just out with my mate Rob. I've come to show him the car and see what he thought of it. And yeah, we've just popped to Tesco because they had a charge point. I seem like I spend my whole life in Tesco. I don't normally, honestly. It's just because they've got a free charger. We've had this plugged in for, as you can see, we've had this plugged in for probably about 15 minutes or so, and we've gained 1 mile of range. Obviously, I live more than 1 mile away from Tesco's, so this isn't really a practical solution to the problem. We've just been having a look on the map on the car sat nav, and we've found a 50 kilowatt charger. So we're going to jump in the car now, scoot over there, and see what is what. Okay, so we've located a charging system here. This is 50 kilowatt charger, right? What's weird about the E-tron is that see, that's not even going to work. If you have to, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so what I was saying is, what's strange about the E-tron is that the CCS charger is only on one side of the car. There's a flap on both sides, but the CCS, which is the dual pin one, where you get more power going through it, is just on this side of the car. So let's do this here. So it says charging service 35 pence per kilowatt hour. So this is going to become quite expensive, I think. So tap card to start. So let's tap my card on there. Instavolt, authorising 35 pence per hour. It says authorise, plug into vehicle, ready, press start. Okay. Charging. So that's now charging at 50 kilowatts per hour. So this should be, in theory, the fastest way to get charged up around here anyway. Can't there is only 50 kilowatt chargers as a maximum in our area at the moment, so this is what we got to deal with right now. So let's have a look how fast we're going. Okay, so we're plugged in, charged up, everything's going right. It's saying on the screen that, if you can see that down here, it says 52 minutes. That's to take it from 63% to 100%. So if it's charging me 35 pence per kilowatt hour, how much is it going to charge me? So Rob's been doing some quick maths inside and has come up with £33 to charge the car. That's from 63%.
No, that's a full charge.
Oh, that's a full charge. Okay.
I guess it compares with petrol in the way that if you're driving around, if this is a 95 kilowatt battery and you're driving around only getting, because you're doing urban driving or putting your foot down, you're only getting 2 miles per kilowatt hour, you're only going to have a range of 190 miles. So 190 miles divided by £33, so 25, so 190 divided by 33 per pound, 5.7 miles. When I fill up in Max 6, it's about 10p a mile or something like that, I work out, in diesel. So it's going to cost more.
It's going to cost more.
But
that's on this
premium,
charger.
That's on a premium charging
station. That's to charge as fast as you possibly can in this area at the moment.
It costs you considerably less,
especially
if you have one of those
what are they
like
called?
Contracts where it's like night times cheaper.
Yeah. So
basically you need a good quality home charging station.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes sense. So either you go for like a 7 kilowatt charging station at home, plug that in at home,
like £1,000.
Yeah, £1,000 or £2,000. You probably, I don't know if everyone has 3-phase.
Every house would. Yeah.
Every house would. Okay, so you would have that anyway. So spend a couple of grand, say, to get it all installed, and then you can charge really cheap.
It gives you the option to add that on.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think car manufacturers, when you spec them up, they give you the option for your home charger as well. You buy it from the manufacturer, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if you don't have the facilities to be able to plug-in at home, which is the whole experiment,
Mm.
you can technically do it because you can go to these charge points like this, but it's going to end up costing you more than just putting petrol in your car. Obviously, depending on what car you have.
And will these prices come down over time?
Yeah, exactly. And
As
you
they
could
get
just
there.
use a free one, like the one in Tesco's, but it would take you...
I don't think that's a viable option at this stage.
No,
I
unless
don't
you
even know
live
why
next
they're
door.
there.
And if you live next door and you can park there overnight. But
You'd
then
never-
that's just stupid.
That would affect your insurance, leaving it in a public car park
Yeah, that's
overnight,
true.
surely.
Yeah,
I just
that's
don't see
true.
it as a future.
But now it's saying 49 minutes to get to 100%, which is pretty good. So let's do it to 80%, because that seems to be the whole thing. Like, everyone loves to go into 80%, like 0 to 80% quite quickly. So let's give that a second and see what it comes back with. It's on 49 minutes, 18 minutes. So that's
14%. That's
14%. That's a hell of a lot quicker than we were getting at Tesco. But
I could go on a power generating bike and generate it quicker than Tesco.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we've been sat here and no, I think they're just yeah, they're fine. But someone just jumped over this wall. Someone just jumped over this wall and then fell over the striped area, which is probably full of cables, I would imagine. Or actually, it's there to stop you driving into the volt machine.
Oh, hang on, look, I figured it out.
Oh, okay. Fancy cup holders down here. We were just saying how stupid this system is because there's no sides to here. Look. So if you just put your phone in, you chuck your phone on there, look, and you get in, you go around the corner, and it's flung out, and you've stood on it. So that's no good. Okay, we've just come up with a little game to pass the time. So as soon as that goes to 20, we're going to start the stopwatch. There you go, 20, go. And we're going to see how long we have to wait to get 1 mile of range.
It should be noted that 1 mile of range is not equal to other people's 1 mile of range.
That's how you
based on
drive.
Previous driving.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like a petrol car. If you nail it everywhere,
I guess putting in a litre isn't an equal
No.
litre, even in the same car, because people drive differently.
what's interesting is it's now gone down to 119.
In just 27 seconds.
We have lost a mile in 27 seconds. So that's well, back up to 120 again. Yes. It's a funny old game, this.
So what will be interesting to see is how quick these are rolled out. Because
Yeah.
if it's all private, unless they're getting government subsidies, the cost of the infrastructure will be excessive.
Yeah, and which is why they're charging us 35p per
Yeah.
kilowatt.
But then I guess, like you pointed
Oh,
out,
121. So what's the time?
1 minute 6.
1 minute 6. So let's say a minute per mile it's going to cost to roughly charge this car.
If you're not driving sensibly
Yes.
and you're in an Audi E-tron.
Yes. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I mean it's certainly not as fast as putting petrol in the car. Okay, so just unplugged the e-tron from the 50 kilowatt charger. I don't know how long we're here, sometime 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. It's charged me £3.38 to add about 11 miles. 9 miles? 9 miles it was, okay. Oh, and 9% of the battery, but 11 miles. So that's not great, is it? To do 11 miles for £3.30. Luckily, this time, unlike yesterday where I had to pay for the parking as well as the charger, you don't have to pay for parking. So that's one upside, but yeah, not good so far. So I'm just in the edit. I've got a hideous cold that I'm not going to go on about. Look, I've even got a blanket to keep me nice and warm. But I just thought we didn't introduce this in the video, so let you know what's going on. So Rob's brother, who I'm in the car with, Rob, he has just ordered a Jaguar I-Pace
I-Pace, the electric Jag, right? And he doesn't have any means of charging at home, so he's actually the person we're doing this experiment for. I didn't even realise. So we got him on the phone and just sort of had a little chat with him about what he thinks about the charging situation before he takes delivery of his car. I mean, he must be pretty confident that it's going to work out, otherwise you wouldn't order one. So just thought it'd be interested to get his opinion on it. So here it is.
Here's where you're going to have a problem then. If you want to charge it ever that's not at home, where you can have a much longer charge for cheap, then the InstaVolt charging points, we're in one now, a 50 kilowatt hour one, charges you how much per kilowatt hour?
35 pence per kilowatt hour.
35 pence per kilowatt hour. We're averaging 2 miles per kilowatt hour, so that's 17.5 pence per mile this electricity is going to cost us. That's not the future.
That sounds extraordinarily expensive.
I completely agree, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, but there's other charging networks which are much cheaper.
Yeah, so the free ones, all the free ones in Bournemouth at the moment are £7.
I don't mean the free ones. I mean other ones like things like Ecotricity and stuff. Or there's one that begins with I.
Yeah, InstaVolt. That's what we're at. InstaVolt. They're 35p.
It's not Instavolt. Like Ionity, I think it might be called.
Okay.
But Ionity's not in Bournemouth yet. But the problem is, right, the problem with charging electric cars at the moment, it's getting better, is at the moment most electric cars, right, out of the mains electricity, you have AC voltage, which is alternating current, yeah?
Yep.
Now, obviously, to get that to charge a car battery, you have to convert it to DC current, yeah?
Direct current.
Yeah. That's what batteries are and electric motors are in cars.
But if they figured that out for mobile phones and laptops, then surely they can figure that out for cars.
Yeah, but the problem is the sheer amount of current involved.
Yeah.
So basically, you can put any size mains supply into any property or anywhere in the road that you want. But the reason like all home chargers are normally 7 kilowatts is because that most cars have an onboard converter or transformer, so to speak, that can only do 7 kilowatts worth of electricity. There are a couple that have 22 kilowatts, but the alternative, the way you get these super fast chargers like 100 kilowatt, and there's 150 kilowatt ones coming out as well. In some places there are already 150 kilowatt chargers.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, there's a couple of them dotted around the UK.
Are there?
Yeah, there's one or two. Yeah.
Yeah, I think BP's starting to put some in as well.
Yeah, on their forecourts, which is interesting.
Yeah, right.
150 kilowatt obviously is. So let's say you've
So
got
the cable to take that current though would have to be pretty hefty, right?
They are fairly.
Or it would overheat.
Yeah.
The amount of, because you think the filament in a toaster is just a thin wire with electricity going through it that gets so hot it makes you toast, right? Same theory?
Yes.
Bloody hell.
So yeah, you got to think like I don't know about the E-tron, but the I-Pace has, I think it's about an 85 kilowatt hour battery. So a 150 kilowatt hour charger would do a complete charge in 30 minutes, and that's in the realm of sort of getting to fairly useful, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
so the range on the I-Pace is 270 on their website.
Right.
The range on the E-tron is 242.
I think so, something like that.
Like 210, 220, I don't think.
Right. Okay.
Same with like MPG ratings for cars. It's largely.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it's the cost of it like that seems to be the issue for me here, because the one that we're at, Nick, is an InstaVolt, and that's a 50 kilowatt hour charger. Or 50 kilowatts.
Which one's that?
It's in Boscombe.
Right.
I'm amazed it's not been stolen yet.
There's one in Westbourne outside the base centre.
Yeah, I tried to use that yesterday and it didn't work.
Oh really?
Yeah. So that seems to be the issue as well. Is that like
Yeah,
there's
I have heard that a lot of them are fucked.
yeah exactly.
So what's the name of that app that you said about? Zap something?
Zap Map or something.
Zap Map.
Zap Map, yeah. I've heard about that.
So that's really good and shows you which ones are working and which ones aren't, and it's users that put the information in there.
Yeah, this is the problem I've got, right? So, to get I did think to myself, I want a decent charger at the office installed, because the office obviously it has 3-phase power, and it could support a 150 kilowatt charger. But the problem is the cost of buying those charging points with the built-in transformers.
How much would that be?
It's a fortune. It's thousands.
Are you talking like 3,000 or 30,000?
Well, it depends how big you want to go. I mean, you could spend 30,000.
It's the future.
So, which is why most charging points that you see in like supermarkets and stuff like that are just fairly basic, like 7 or 22 kilowatts, because they're a lot cheaper. You can get them installed for like $1,000 or something.
Which is probably why they're trying to charge us 35p to use the 50 kilowatt. They're
Exactly.
trying to get some of their money back.
These 50 kilowatt chargers, you might end up paying. They could be like 15-20 grand to be installed.
Yeah.
So Instavolt is a company that's trying to make profit as well as get their money back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
way. So,
yeah.
You can understand it.
Yeah, and the problem is as well, they'll be getting charged more for electricity because it's such a massive sudden load on the grid.
Yeah, because grids, they like stability, don't they, to be able to forecast usage.
Yeah, and obviously there's the size of the wires in the ground and stuff like that as well.
Sorry, I know it's so annoying seeing everything in the dark, but it's winter, and what can you do? Anyway, I just got back from a little run out and showing Rob the car. Just thought I'd show you something quite interesting, is that the air conditioning makes a massive difference to the range. So the air conditioning is on now, right? And we've got, hopefully you can see that, it's 110 miles of range. Turn the aircon off. Give it a second, 134 miles of range. So it's just quite interesting that it's a lot more of a difference than I thought it would be by just not having the heating on. So that's, I guess, a bit of a tip if you do have an EV and you're running lower miles. Turn your aircon off, turn the radio off, turn the lights off, turn everything off, and just hope for the best.